Hello, this is an assessment of a Bluthner Style 6 that's come into stock. That's 5 foot 9 inches long. Now the piano's been fully restored by Bluthner's in the 1960s, and they put replacement ivory key tops, so the one-piece ivory. On ivories normally you see a join here, but they've been replaced and they've been one-piece ivory put on here. So you can see it's ivory because of the grain, and it feels like ivory as well. The piano's got a beautiful rosewood cabinet, and the polish is really excellent, though the far side has been as faded, as you'll see in a minute. There's the other side of the piano, and there's fading on this point here. You can see it's a lighter colour. And the piano's been kept open as well, because as we close it, you'll see the difference in colour. They're quite staggering. That's the original rosewood colour. A bit too bright a finish for me. If we refinish them, we will antique wax them so that they don't reflect so much. But wonderful cabinet. Of course, that is that colour. We could repolish the piano and make it that colour. So trying to assess the piano, you could buy it like it is, obviously much less expensively, or we could repolish the piano. The piano was made in 1924, though this badge here that the Bluthers have put on has got a date of 1929, as you can see on the left there. That's something we try to avoid doing, though I suppose it's not the worst thing in the world to have slightly the wrong badge. There's the serial number there, which dates it at 1924. Now, it's got the original Bluthner tuning block, rest plank, underneath here, but the tuning pins are very tight. They've restrung it and repinned with larger pins, and they're very tight pins, so there's no need for a new tuning block, really. Our Style 6 is aliquot scaling. That's the extra string here. As I say, this piano's just come into stock, so I haven't even cleaned it up here, but just wanted to assess the piano and give you the option to buy the piano, which works perfectly, though it needs repolishing if you want it to be even and throughout. But to buy it at a cheaper price, we're very busy anyway, so well, we would love to polish it. The other thing about this piano is that the frame here, there's paint cracks, and nothing to do with the frame underneath, but it's just the paint on the top for some reason has cracked. Sometimes paint does that, and there's obviously a cosmetic thing. Again, it'll mean you can buy the piano more cheaply. We could fully restore this piano, obviously, but really there's no need to, apart from this cracked paintwork. Again here, this just shows up the crack more obvious round here. I don't think that's going to get any worse particularly, but we wouldn't, I suppose you could sort of mask this off and paint it round there. We wouldn't do that. We either fully restore the piano or leave it like it is and sell it less expensively. It can also be rented out, of course, this piano, if you want to rent a really excellent piano, because it is a beautiful piano. The tone throughout is excellent. A rich, warm bass sound. Going up, we find that is even throughout, beautifully even. The hammers need refacing. They're good hammers though, and they're not terribly worn. So good tone throughout. Now Bluthner has set the key dip here at 9mm. This is 11mm gauge, maybe 9.5mm, but that's not normal for nowadays. Keyboards have at least 11mm. This is 11mm gauge. Here's a fully restored black Bluthner, and just under 11 meters, 10.5. Here's another Bluthner restored by Bluthner's in 1992. Later on, they have changed the rest plank in this, and it's got this 11mm key dip. So the hammers on this piano have been replaced, and it's been played a reasonable amount, but there's plenty of hammer left, and it's quite hard, so we could easily just reface that, bring out the original tone again, it'll be more or less as it was when the hammers were replaced in the first place. It's slightly lighter because when you reface to make the hammer slightly lighter, that might not sound much to lighten off the felt of the hammer, but it's magnified 7 times in the key. And when you press the key down, you feel 7 times the difference of what you've made here. So it is slightly significant, about 1 or 2 grams. It's a reasonably light action anyway. Yes, there's plenty of hammer felt left there. This Bluthner patent action, I mentioned before, 1924, 1925, it's about the changeover point where you'll get a mixture of patents and roller actions. We talked about that in other videos. If you want to look up Bluthner patent action on our video channel, it works just as well, and I've had a conversion made recently from a patent to a roller, modern roller action, and really I'm not sure that it's really improved the piano that much. You can repeat slightly better on a modern action than you can on this, but if this is working properly, these springs remain as they should be for literally 100 years. You won't need to replace these. These are, I think these are actually replacement springs that Bluthner put in 1960s. So that's a Bluthner style 6 grand piano, 5'9" long, and it's one of my favourite models of piano, let alone Bluthner's. It just has a beautiful tone to it, very even, very warm. And this has been restored by Bluthner's in, I think, 1966, if I remember rightly, and sold by them then to the client we bought it from. And now, when Bluthner's restored it, they put the key dip as 9mm and no aftertouch. That's correct for Bluthner's actually, but I find if you're a technician and know what I'm talking about aftertouch, I just don't really enjoy that. And I find that they work just as well with a little aftertouch. So reset them at 11mm and then you can get aftertouch like a normal piano. But Bluthner's really they're amazingly stable in their tuning. This one hasn't been tuned by us. Hasn't been tuned for a very long time, is 5 beats below pitch, but absolutely in tune with itself. This one has a very strong, rich upper treble, which is a problem sometimes in some Bluthner's. You find they're a bit weak in the top treble. So I can really recommend the piano. We're going to either recondition it. We could fully restore it because the frame, as I say, the paint is cracked and it looks quite severe. But in fact, there's nothing wrong with it. Put a 10-year guarantee on the piano without any problem. Thank you very much for listening.